Want to trade with Rithika? Join Chase at www.laductrading.com/chase.
Guys, welcome back. Hope you had a great weekend. As you can see, last week we discussed that whether you were bullish or bearish, you were likely to have an oversold bounce. Kind of did that. So this is the first level the bulls kind of need to overcome. Honestly, we could kind of push into that 5,900 before you reject and come back down. So that is a possibility and something to keep an eye on. I would only be bullish for a new high only if you can at least break 5,900. As you can see, if I fib the high to low, you can see that we haven't even crossed the 50% mark. So I would say the bounce was expected, would need a lot more to prove that we are not just breaking down. But this is a good sign. We discussed how we always reject this area on the wicks. We completely broke down, couldn't stay above. Now we're opening lower. So this is a good sign. So if it continues to break below 19, even a bounce that rejects 21, that means that the wicks will continue selling down at least into 17 and even 15.80. I would say if a bottom isn't, then we will come down to that 11. So let's see how that goes. This is a good sign for the bulls. You look at the dollar again, you can see that we've pretty much broken out, rejected. Now we bounce. Honestly, I think this is going to continue selling off till it breaches this low again. We're probably going to retest that. So ideally, that's what I see on the dollar, and that could help the equities. And the 10-year, as you can see, we broke out, we came back, and we're just kind of holding the breakout. So it'll be interesting to see how the yields react here. So it's kind of what I was looking at. Market-wise, you look at QQQ again. As you can see, we pretty much were sideways from the 10th of March to the 25th of March. So that's almost 1.5 weeks of sideways action. And this morning we're gapping up. So that could be an interesting sign. If we fail to gap up, that means it's definitely a bearish structure that's going to come down into 448. But as long as you can hold over 487, I think at minimum going to test 500 again. And then let's see if we reject or we continue pushing up. But as I've discussed before, the first break usually just means it's digesting. It still has one more high to make. I don't think this pattern is broken. We could be in a wave 4 though that just goes sideways for a couple of months before we have that last high. So keep an eye on that. In QQQ, we look at IWM and we can see that we still have not broken the 229 level that's needed. So we're still in the chop zone, and again would need below 196 to break down. Hasn't happened yet, so not interested in IWM. With that being said, let's look at this week's watch list. So AMD, again, kind of the same thing as Qs. If it can hold a gap up, then that would make for a very nice bottom reversal. As long as we hold over 108, we should ideally push into that 112, 116 area. So I am watching to see if this level, you can see previous level of resistance, you can see what's previous support. So if this turns out to be another support, this again could be a very nice bottom reversal. And you can see this is the channel. So I mean, I don't say it's the perfect channel, but I would say that we could just go back at least to the top of the channel. So I'm bullish on AMD and Nvidia. I know that we have earnings in May, so plenty of time to establish this very clearly an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. So it's a matter of, are we still going to continue digesting the C wave or are we going to break out? So ideally, I would like this. If you wanted a safe breakout, I would say 126 breaks. Then I would expect this blue path to progress. Otherwise, I think whether I'm bullish or bearish, I would still expect an oversold bounce into this 123, 126 area. So yeah, that's why I think that this could have smaller time frame. You can see that we're attempting to break out. So as long as we hold above this 117.6, then we could again, that 123, 126 is what I'm looking at. So I have Nvidia on the 6 watch list. Next I have LLY, and again, as discussed, right, we rejected the resistance, we came down. Now we're against this resistance, so it must stay below this 850. If it does, then we could continue down into the support level here at 767. But if we break this 850, then we could definitely go back to 900, 932. So this 850 is super important on LLY. And last but not the least, we have Kodak, and I think it's had plenty of bounce. I think it looks a little more bearish than it looks bullish, given that this is resistance, it's rejected. So I mean, I feel like if it breaks 6.2, we'll probably come down to retest this 5.8. So kind of just a short trace. But yeah, structure wise, I think any bounce gets rejected to come down into 4.62 on Kodak. That's all I have for this week. Have a great day.
Join Chase to trade with Rithika and other experts. Subscribe to LaDuc Trading YouTube channel for more Wolf's weekly wave list videos and other content.